the foundation inspection. What we're looking for is the condition of the foundation. This is the front elevation. Looks good on the front elevation. This is the left elevation of the property. This is the rear elevation of the property. We're at the rear left corner, and you can see here we've got a downpipe from the gutter, and it empties directly onto the grade. The extension is disconnected. Problem with that is that it will dump water in a particular area next to the grade, next to the foundation, that can cause the foundation problems. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to cause problems, but it heightens that probability. So extension pipe needs to be put on and taken right the way out, away from the foundation. You want to drop water from a roof, drainage from a roof, about 6 foot away from the foundation. This is the grading at the rear elevation of the property. We've got a not much of a slope here. Really what we like to see is a drop of 6 inches in 10 feet. This is slightly less than that, and as a consequence there's quite a lot of moisture that gathers around the foundation all the way around here. Now the solution probably in the future may be to put in a French drain in this area if you find this area here really gets quite wet and stays wet for a long period of time. At the moment I can see it's quite damp, but we have really heavy rain over the last couple of days, and it's not surprising that it's wet there. Here we've got a nice slope away, so it's going to drain well from the building itself. These flower beds don't have drains in the wall. It's probably worth putting drains in, because you want that water to drain out. Oh, okay, we have a drain here. See that drain there? That's good. That works. So nice slope on the front, on the left elevation, and now we're moving to the front elevation of the property. And yeah, we've got reasonable slope away from it. This area is a little flat. As I say, you're looking normally to have a drop of 6 inches in 10 feet. It's not quite that, but it is actually sloping, so it will drain. So verdict on the grading around the house is okay. Yellow Hat Inspections, Mark speaking. Standing at the rear right elevation, doing the roof inspection, and I'd like to note that the dryer vent, which is on the roof there, has got a lot of lint in it, and that needs to be cleaned out. It represents a bit of a fire hazard. Not going to burst into flames immediately, but it could. So you need to have that cleaned out. This is the attic inspection. We start off by checking for gas. We have gas lines here. Well, we have radiant barrier installed. We have a good depth of insulation in the attic itself. Yeah, we've got 17-18 inches, so that's good. Good level of insulation. Now, I'm not going to go off the boards. It limits the inspection I can do in the attic, but the reason I don't go off the boards is it actually damages the insulation. So we've got a lovely field of insulation here, all filled. I go marching around on that. I can't see the rafters on the joists. The other thing I can't see, or the other thing I'll do is I'll damage the insulation. It won't work so effectively. We're now in the attic over the hallway in the house. Okay, now we have a problem here. See this gas pipe running along here? It's flexible and it's strung between the purlin here and the strut there, and there's no support. It should be supported every 3 foot or more. It shouldn't just be hanging like that. So that needs to be, support needs to be put in for that. Attic overall, both ends of the attic are in good condition. We have adequate insulation, and there's radiant barrier on the decking, which will reduce the amount of heat coming into the building during summer. That's a good thing. This is the wall inspection. What we're looking for are conditions in the wall that indicate moving the foundation. Well, I've measured the foundation, it's pretty level. I've looked at the foundation, it looks in good condition. So now what we're doing is looking at the wall. Now the soils in Texas are expansive soils, active soils. They actually expand and contract with the amount of moisture in them. And the foundations that we use, a post-tension cable, they're very flexible, they're malleable, they bend. As a consequence, if the foundation moves, the foundation handles it perfectly, but the brickwork doesn't, because it doesn't really work under a tensile load. A brick, it cracks. So what we're looking for are cracks that might indicate we have movement. We're now at the front right elevation. So far we have found no cracks. Now we have these columns here on part of the portico, that column there, and they should have weak poles in them. They have, in fact, inside this brick veneer are wooden supports, and the weak poles are there to allow any condensation in there, any dampness in there to dry out. And it hasn't got any weak poles, so weak poles need to be added to these columns to preserve and protect them in the future. I'm now at the left-hand front elevation. Again, we're still looking at the telltale signs of cracks. So the front, the right, the right elevation is fine. No cracks there. No cracks on the front elevation. We're now at the rear elevation of the property. And again, we've got columns with no weep holes in them. And the weep holes are missing from over the top of those windows there. There should be a combustion air vent on the wall here. It's not, and there's not one on the chimney either. That's required, otherwise you're going to be burning air from inside the house when you run the fire rather than drawing it from the outside. The gas isolation valve here, and just looking to see it constructed correctly. We have a damper in place, yep, and the damper opens, that's good. With gas logs, because it's gas logs, there should actually be a damper blocker there, stops you closing the damper completely. It's not exactly practical in Texas. When it gets very hot we lose a lot of cool air through it, but that's a requirement. Now we need to check it's got a combustion air vent. It should be on the wall on the outside here. No, it doesn't have a combustion air. This is a compressor serving the house at large, running at the present time. The insulation on the suction line, that coolant line there, is breaking down, that needs replacing.